Okay, this is the CTC-7 I've been working on for some time now, and I was having a problem getting this convergence. You'll see these blue lines here on both sides. Well, I was adjusting the convergence board back here. It essentially had no effect. The normal controls, that would be these two pots, this pot here and this coil, just were not making anything happen. So I decided I'd look into it a little bit more and come around here and check it out. And the first thing I did was I clipped onto the U point on the convergence board. That happens to be where the horizontal pulse comes from the flyback. I'm getting the correct peak to peak. That's a typical waveform out of a flyback. And I decided, well, let's just trace this on through, and that connects up to a coil, which then couples through a couple passive components to shape the that flyback pulse into a correct parabola shape to correct for that blue droop in the horizontal. So looking here, I can see I have a coil connection, so I'm going to go from that side of the coil, and then it goes to a capacitor, which I believe is right here. Alright. I'm sorry, that goes from the U, there's a cap, to here. I'm still getting a signal. So then that's the input to the coil, and the output from the coil is right here. Nothing. So this side of the coil, I get a signal. This side of the coil, I get zip. So clearly there's a problem here. So the next thing I'm going to do, let me go ahead and turn this off, turn the TV off, turn the scope off. So that makes it sure look like that coil's a problem. So what I'm going to do now, excuse the shakiness while I hook this up. I'm going to put my meter, my old trusty Simpson. Let me set this to, that coil's supposed to be about 17 ohms. So I'm going to then I'm going to connect this across the coil. That's one side, and here is the other side. Not a darn thing. That coil's wide open. So what I'm going to do is pull this coil out right here. Well, I guess I could try shaking the thing a little bit. Maybe just move the coil a little bit. While we're watching the Simpson, I'll just kind of move this coil around. You never know, sometimes a loose wire or a poor solder joint. Well, nothing's happening there. It's not moving one bit. So clearly that's a problem. I'm going to unsolder that coil and check it for continuity and get a better view on it. Maybe I can see if there's a break. If not, I have another coil to put in its place. We'll come back to this after that. Okay, new coil is installed. I'm reading right at about 17 ohms, which is what this thing calls for. I've got it hooked up to the correct points here. I'm checking out that, going across that coil. So that looks good. So what I'm going to do next is go ahead and hook up the scope back up to it. I'll get all that back hooked up again here in just a minute and see how she looks. I got the new coil installed. I already checked it on the ohm meter. I'm getting right at 17 ohms, so we're going to hook it back up again. Here's the, got the new one in there. We'll see how it looks on the scope. Oh, that's very different. That's the waveform I'm getting now on the other side of that coil. So let's go take a look and see if it's made any change on the CRT. Oh yeah, that blue's completely up where it belongs. I'll have to go through and redo it, but that took care of that problem, sure, really well. So I think we're good to go. I'll I'll work on this side over here a little bit more and, you know, do a few more tweaks, but we're getting there. Looking good.